thank you for joining us. I'm very, very excited to share our next prompt to publication post with you. With me today is Jess Brimer. She has been a member of Deadlines for Writers for quite a while. She's completed the 12 Short Stories Challenge 3 times, and we're very excited to hear about the publication of her book. So Jess, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Cool stuff. I have a few fun questions I'd like to go through. So if you don't mind, I'm going to jump straight in. The first thing I'd like to know is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? Friends, family? Do you day job? What keeps you busy? What do you do when you're not writing?
I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past almost 10 years now. So been raising 2 kids, errands, and stuff like that, really. Not really much more about me, just taking care of the kids, really.
Yeah, no, that's enough to keep you busy. How old are your kiddos?
Yes, I have to be 10 soon as my oldest, and then my youngest one is 7. I have to think on it now.
Magic, yeah. Every age is special, but yeah, it's fun when they get older. Cool. Can you tell us a little bit about your writing? When do you get your writing done? When do you squeeze it in? What do you do? Tell us a bit about your routine.
Well, I write during school days, basically. And I had a great plan that once both of my kids go to school, I'm going to write all day when they're in school, and then because COVID hit. So I became a really good planner. So when they went back to school, I was able to just write. So basically when my kids are in school, sometimes over weekends when they're watching a movie or they're busy occupying themselves, and I can squeeze in a little bit of writing, but mostly during school hours.
Okay. Yeah, no, good. Tell us a bit about your book and about your experience of writing it.
My book is a cozy mystery. It's a book series, and it's basically like a murder mystery in a fun way. As far as writing it, this is actually my 9th novel that I wrote. Like, I started out when I first joined the group, I was a fantasy writer, kind of on the fence if I should stop writing fantasy because it was getting me nowhere. And I switched over when I joined the group. I'd been tinkering between mystery and writing, and it just kind of mystery just stuck with me, and wrote some books as I was learning. Everyone was like so helpful with what I was doing wrong, realizing that I'm making mistakes that I didn't realize I was making. So that was really nice to look back, and it helped me so much to apply what I was learning in the group feedback and apply it to, my 9 novels that I wrote. So, but this latest one, my cozy mystery, got me in to the publishing world though.
It's amazing. How did you end up becoming a writer? When did you start? How?
Oh goodness, I was the kid in school that was writing instead of doing work, which I wouldn't recommend that, but I was always writing, and I didn't really take it seriously until after college. I was writing my fantasy book, and it was till after I finished it, I kind of realized, I'm like, I think I got a skill, even though half my characters suddenly got killed in the process because that was a fantasy. I wasn't taking it very seriously, but once I got to the end, I was like, I feel like I have a talent. So I kind of took it a little more serious, started learning more, started, keep my characters alive. Unless I have a good reason, get rid of them. But then I kind of took it a little more seriously after that. And it just kind of just blossomed over a few years, really.
Awesome. Do you find does writing energize you? Does writing drain you? Do you enjoy writing? Where are you on the spectrum?
I enjoy it for the most part. There's a few days like, I think everyone has those days. I just don't want to write. It's tiring, but overall it does. It's nice. I enjoy it very much.
Okay. And do you have other creative pursuits that you turn to when you're not writing?
Mostly listen to music a lot. I do that. It's like a stress relief, and plus it's just fun, just a free moment. I do dabble essential oils a little bit, which is also nice, but mostly music, I have to say.
Cool. What do you like reading?
I read all kinds of genres. Obviously, the most is mysteries, cozy mystery thrillers. The month of October, Halloween, I like to read like paranormal, kind of a spooky read, but not quite deep into horror, but just a nice ghost story. That's kind of fun. Some Christian fiction, but mostly mysteries. That's my main, and then a few fantasies.
Okay, fun. Can you tell us a little bit about your publishing journey? How did you end up with your publishers? What did you do? How did you get there?
Well, after writing a few books, my first fantasy, I actually wrote 4 fantasies, and then I re-edit my very first fantasy a million times. Those poor agents, I feel. But I edited it so many times, and then I was like, I need a break. I need to stop the book after so many rewrites. And so I did the mystery, my first novel, and that's when I was in the group, and I got an interest with some agents, but they didn't like it enough to want to represent it. So I just kind of honestly kept writing, and agents were like, I like it, don't love it. So and this last one that got me in, I actually reached out to a cozy author. She had like a little writer's program specifically for them. So she actually helped me out a lot, opened my eyes to, probably why agents were declining me. And I got more interest, but it still wasn't enough. So I decided to try a small publisher house just to see, and they accepted it. So just kind of went with them.
Congratulations, that's awesome. What was the hardest part of this book to write? Was there a part that you really struggled with, or was it just more of the process? But was there a difficult scene? What was hard for you?
The climax. It's always like, and it's murder mystery. You gotta reveal the killer, have all the clues add up. That way the reader can look back and look and see, I see it now. I get it.
Okay.
The climax is really kind of hard. Makes sure everything fits. That person is the killer. It makes sense. Not a good surprise. Because that's mysteries author's job.
that would be it, yeah. And then just getting the timing right and tying up all those loose ends. It's just lots of balls in the air at that stage. So cool. Was there something that didn't make it into the book?
There was one part I actually really enjoyed writing it. It was his cozy mysteries are also kind of a little humorous and funny. And I wrote this scene to it's a humorous, it kind of shows character interactions. And the cozy author that he actually pointed out that scene, he's like, it made me laugh and chuckle. You got to get rid of it. It does nothing. It does not even move the story along. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But he's like, it's great, but no. So I changed it, and I'm like, I totally saw her point, why it's not necessarily funny, but can't have it.
Yeah. Okay. Save it for some book launches, and you can read it as like a sneak scene. So cool stuff. Do you have any advice for writers? Anything that you can tell the aspiring writers out there? What advice would you give them?
This is like a one that I've kind of realized during my process, because the reason why I didn't take my writing seriously is because I listened to a bad advice. I had a very lovely teacher, which she was very not lovely, but she told me that do write as a hobby, leave it to the professionals. And I took her advice. I don't know why I did, but I took it. I thought I couldn't write. I couldn't do it. And then after I wrote that fantasy book, and I thought like I had some talent, I'm like, why did I take her advice? She was a horrible, meanest teacher ever. And so I kind of realized, my other friend that was reading said, this is great. There's things you can do, which is totally fine. But she's like, you got skill. And it was like, there's 2 types of criticisms. One of them obviously does not help you at all for whatever reason, is to make you a better writer. And that's the main reason why I joined this group, is because I'm like, I want feedback, but guys are kind of nice about it and helpful about it, and not, tell me leave to
Yeah.
professional. So, but I think that's the main thing, is that there's
Okay.
always going to be criticism. I feel like the writing kind of is, I don't want to say criticism, but there's a lot of negative that it could
Mm,
really consume you and bring you down. But I would
mm,
just focus on the stuff that helps you, and not the ones that just weigh you down for whatever reason they have.
mm, yeah. Okay.
That's what I would
Good
say.
advice. And then my last favorite question is, what was your favorite book as a child?
It was a Sideways Stories. It's like a middle grade. It was like, it's humorous.
Mhm.
It was like my first book that I read that I loved it. I mean, our school was really big on reading. You had to read these books, you had to do these reports. And I think that was the first book that it was enjoyable, that I just loved
Mhm.
it. I didn't have to write a report or explain what it is. I just enjoyed it. And it was funny too. The stories are funny.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you. That wraps up my questions, Jess. Thank you for joining us. I'm so proud of you. Well done. And just keep writing.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I hope it helps other people.
I'm sure it will.